game 3 of the last time they played. And I feel like Sejun, if he wants to win this, he has to have the guts to go for some big attacks, to go for some big predictions. And I don't think he can let Aaron kind of just like slowly take the match back. And Aaron has to figure out how to play safe and take it without losing to Sejun's very, very offensive pressure. But here we go. We are jumping into the game, and I am honestly really excited. We see Gudra Metagross. Yes, let's go. Gudra Metagross from Sejun, while Aaron sends out Tapu Fini and Arcanine. So this is very, very familiar, Justin. Does this remind you of anything?
Well, see, as we saw in Game 3 from Aaron versus Sejun in yesterday's match, Aaron wanted to lead the Tapu Fini Arcanine to prevent the damage output from the Tapu Lele and Pheromosa that Sejun has. This is actually the lead that Sejun brought in Game 1 with the Metagross and the Gudra, which was, the strategy pretty much that he had prepared for exactly what Aaron led. So I actually do think Sejun ended up on the better end of the deal here with the Metagross and the Gudra, which I'm assuming is Assault Vest. We actually haven't seen the item yet.
Probably.
But because it's carrying the Bulldoze, as we saw yesterday, to possibly activate that Metagross's weakness policy. I do think that the Gudra is actually, in fact, Assault Vest, and that definitely makes that Tapu Fini have a harder time against it.
Yeah, I could not agree more. And this is kind of an interesting mind game where does Aaron predict the Bulldoze, or does he just attack? Because if Sejun had the opportunity to protect and Bulldoze there, but he actually switches out, gets an Intimidate onto both these Pokemon. It will probably only matter on Aaron's Arcanine because that's the only physical attacker on Aaron's side of the field. And Aaron does protect his Arcanine. So let's see what Tapu Fini does. It also uses to protect. Aaron was afraid that Sejun would just go protect and Bulldoze, lowering both of his Pokemon speed stats, ensuring that the Metagross would then be faster. And then the next turn, that would give Sejun the opportunity to go Bulldoze and attack with his Metagross. And because that Metagross is holding a weakness policy, it would become an incredibly, incredibly dangerous threat. So Sejun kind of covers both his options there, where he doesn't go for the Bulldoze. He does have the option of doing it this turn, and now he's got his Arcanine in, weakening Aaron's Arcanine. But also, Justin, I have to feel like Aaron is such a safe switch into his Porygon too. Do you think he brings it in here?
I would like to predict that because he could. I think it's a very optimal time for him to get off the Trick Room.
Garchomp.
We're actually going to see Aaron bring in his Garchomp here, which will offer pretty great pressure against the Arcanine that Sejun just brought in. And as well, Sejun does actually go for the Wild Charge. They're getting off a huge amount of damage.
I'm not sure.
Not picking up the knockout there, but we do see a Muddy Water here from Aaron's Tapu Fini, which we do know isn't a Choice Specs variant, so it won't pick up the knockout here on the Arcanine. We'll activate that Super Citrus Berry. I'm pretty sure it's an Aguav. We will see it get 50% of its health back, and now this Gudra is in a position to go for the Sludge Bomb as it gets it off into the Tapu Fini, and it actually is enough to pick up the knockout. So Aaron just sacrifices Tapu Fini on that turn, and I think Sejun right now is just sitting pretty.
Okay, that was a very good turn in some respects for Sejun, but what you have to keep in mind here is that Sejun doesn't have any switch-ins to ground-type attacks except for Pheromosa, who isn't really a switch into a ground-type attack, and his Intimidator is currently on the field. And we know that Sejun does have Metagross in the back. So even though that was like a good turn for Sejun, that he got a KO, he got rid of one of the main threats on his opponent's side of the field, this Garchomp is a really, really threatening thing to go up against. I just don't see how Sejun is going to get rid of it.
Yeah, I think what's actually more important now is that basically Aaron has his Muck here in for free, which is probably one of the most threatening things to Sejun's team. And when we talked with Aaron yesterday, he talked about how you needed to get his Muck in and, not activate its Figgy Berry. He wants it to come in at full health, be able to put on the pressure that it needs to. It is able to go for the knockoff into stuff like the Gudra. But we are going to see the Z move here, which will be that Tectonic Rage from that Garchomp. And Sejun trying to go for a read there, leaving his Arcanine there, no Protect, as we didn't see the animation for it. And that Tectonic Rage will definitely pick up the knockout onto...
no, it's Gudra. I think it might still
pick up.
I think it could survive. Gudra, it depends on how Sejun is trained as Gudra, but let's find out. Gudra's health is dropping. Oh my gosh, that's an enormous amount of damage. Gudra is relatively bulky, so I'm actually really surprised that KO'd, and all of a sudden, Aaron is in a really commanding position. But of course, Sejun does still have one Pokemon in the back. Sejun might lose both his Pokemon this turn. Let's see what Aaron went for. 50% Berry, healing up that Muck. I think it might be Figgy, but I'm not sure. I can't actually see. You'll never know. Poison Jab coming up. I think that might be it, Justin. I think that might be the end of the Arcanine. Yeah.
The Arcanine is actually going to go down there. Now, as I was saying, I did think it would pick up the knockout in either one of the Pokemon it went into because Tectonic Rage, Aaron actually has an Adamant Garchomp, which just gives you that extra edge you need to pick up the, specific knockouts into stuff like Gastrodon, Gudra, Milotic. Just if you chip it a little bit, you can get that, extra damage. We are going to see the double knockout there, which means that, it's kind of a trade. Sejun got the first knockout and, sacrificed a lot of his HP on his Arcanine to get that damage down into the Tapu Fini, but then he gave Aaron excellent positioning. And I mean, what can he really even do against this Muck? It's, you know, even a Moonblast and a Meteor Mash isn't going to be enough to actually knock it out.
That's correct. Yeah, and I mean, so Psychic Terrain will be boosting the power of all Psychic type attacks, but even though Muck is part Poison type, it's also part Dark type, which means that Muck is immune to the Psychic type attacks. And guess what? Both the Pokemon in front of the Muck are Psychic type. So I think if you're Aaron, you have to be feeling pretty good about this position, but you're not out of the woods yet. If you go for an Earthquake, you will activate that Metagross's weakness policy, which will double its attack. And same with the Knockoff. Knockoff will actually activate the weakness policy without removing it. So Sejun still has some tools here. Depending on, I don't actually remember what his Tapu Lele build is, but it's actually, it's Psychic Z, that's correct. So Tapu Lele goes for Protect here. Let's see what the Muck does. Let's see what Metagross does. Poison Jab comes into Tapu Lele. What does Sejun do? Does he capitalize on this? Agility Metagross coming out. So all of a sudden, this Metagross says, it's time to go fast.
It's time to go fast. Speed Racer.
Speed Racer on the field. Metagross's 4 legs are moving at the speed of light. It's one of those creepy spiders that, like, you know, you see it and then it's all over the place and it's gone. That's Metagross right now. And Sejun, he's in a better position, but, you know, he's still, like, Aaron can just safely double into his Tapu Lele, and I don't see how Sejun's going to stop it.
I mean, we have to see precisely how much damage this Psychic Surge boosted Zen Headbutt does into that Garchomp, because now that it's faster, we could possibly see a knockout. That also does have the potential to flinch with a 30% chance there. So that might play into how the damage roll. And basically what we're working for is, can I keep the Muck from attacking? As the Garchomp actually gets the Poison Jab off into the Tapu Lele. Not enough to pick up the knockout, but we do see the Moonblast from Tapu Lele going into the Muck, trying to pick up the knockout here. Definitely not enough. Muck does get the special attack drop, shrugs it off because it doesn't use the special attack stat. We haven't seen Flamethrower from it. And the second Poison Jab does pick up the knockout into the Tapu Lele. Metagross, not really enough, in my opinion, to just, you know, sweep the rest of Aaron's team. So I do think we will see game 2 here with an Aaron with a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, I think Sejun still has a small chance because of that weakness policy, depending on how the rest of this game plays out. But Aaron probably has some safe moves that he can make and not have to risk it. But the fact that Garchomp's only really viable attack here is Earthquake, and combined with Zen Headbutt's ability to flinch, I don't know. Maybe there's a chance he can bring this back, depending on how much Knockoff does. But it's definitely looking tough for Sejun. I actually think I would have preferred to see Tapu Lele go for a Psychic Z into the Garchomp there, because if he'd knocked out Garchomp and gotten an attack boost with Metagross, thanks to the Psychic Terrain, is it +1 Zen Headbutt might have been able to pick up the KO on that Arcanine. So both of Aaron's Pokemon protecting here, actually trying to scout for a protect, I think, from Sejun's end, and Sejun actually goes for a forfeit. I don't know why. I think he has a chance to win. I'm not sure if I agree with that. Because Aaron can
basically what he needs to do, well, just because the 100% accurate moves, like basically what he could do is, I mean, well, he might not be forfeiting right now.
Yeah.
The knockoff wouldn't get the knockout here. But he'd have to be able to pick up a knockout and 2 things at the same time. That's the problem, because he has Arcanine in the back. It'll come right in. It'll get the Flare Blitz off.
Yes.
And so he has the second knockoff opportunity. So he doesn't really need to worry about the Garchomp. If he does try and go for the Earthquake if he does try and go for the Muck here, then he does just Earthquake into the Metagross and he'll win the game. So
actually Sejun I think this is the correct call here. So Sejun goes for Meteor Mash here, hoping that Aaron is predicting a Protect and won't be using Earthquake. Garchomp goes for a Fire Fang. Aaron, no!
All right, so you're talking about that one window of opportunity that he had.
Oh my god!
And then he gets a burn pretty much to save himself.
Wow. Okay, so Sejun probably was over, right? Because I think that Fire Fang plus Adamant Earthquake would probably pick up the KO here, but Sejun might have had a small chance with Fire Fang proccing that weakness policy, doubling Metagross's physical attack, and with the +2 speed, and the fact that Clear Body cannot be intimidated. There might have actually been a chance for Metagross to bring this one back. A small chance maybe, but definitely a chance. But unfortunately, thanks to that burn, there is no more chances left in Sejun's books. So he's probably going to forfeit this game, and Aaron will be taking game 1 and will be 1 game away from moving on into the top 4 of this tournament.
Dude, whenever I get like a burn or any type of paralysis or any type of, additional effect, it kind of bugs me because I've gotten so used to using Tapu Fini. Just because so many players are using Misty Surge now, which does remove those extra status effects, it's like you spoiled. You're not used to it anymore. So
that's
that
exactly
burn
right.
Just popping out there was just kind of just like, oh man, I didn't expect that. I actually that Psychic Surge was up.
I had the same reaction. Like I looked at the screen, I saw that there was a terrain on the field. And if you guys aren't aware, there are 4 Tapu Pokemon, and each of them has a different surge ability, activating a different kind of terrain. And Tapu Fini, which is extremely popular right now, we saw Aaron using it, it's part of the effect of its terrain is that it prevents any Pokemon on the ground from being affected by status conditions. So when we saw that Fire Fang, both Justin and I were a little confused. We were like, how did this burn? I thought Misty Terrain was up.
Yeah.
No, it was actually Psychic Terrain.
Not to mention, like, Psychic Terrain and Misty Terrain have, like, the closest color palette. So, like,
yeah, it's
I'm
not
just
fair.
like, all right, I know, it's so hard. You have to remember all these colors as a VGC player. It's a good thing Silvally isn't more popular. That's what I'd like to say.
That is exactly true. Silvally, a Pokemon that changes its type based on the item it's holding, and you can tell by looking at it, but it's really difficult. VGC players not known for their ability to tell colors apart. But back to the match. Justin, what just happened? Please tell me. What do you think Sejun has to do to win game 2? And how are you feeling if your Aaron Cybertron Zheng is number 1?
I told you, I really feel like the positioning thing is important. He didn't bring his Pheromosa, and his Pheromosa is kind of like that one-shot cannon. It's got to get a knockout on something. He can use it for the Muck. He can use it for the Porygon 2 or the Gigalith. I mean, even possibly the Garchomp if it carries Ice Beam, which some of them do. I do think that it's very hard for him to get into a position where he can use the Pheromosa, which is why he's been reluctant to bring it in so many of the games that they've played. I do really think that it's, as I said, it's important to bring it. I don't know if he can lead it. He might want to save it for the late game, but I think Aaron just sticks to his guns, leads Tapu Fini and Arcanine. We didn't see the Porygon 2 that game, but just getting the Muck in efficiently, very important. And kind of just, not wasting your Z-move. He fired off that Tectonic Rage, got a key knockout with it, and was still able to threaten Sejun's team with the rest of his, with Earthquake and stuff like that. So,
oh my gosh. So Sejun actually switches up and brings Ninetales and Metagross this game, which is really, really interesting.
Ninetales.
Yeah, Ninetales as Aaron goes for, again, Arcanine and Tapu Fini on his side of the field. But I don't know. Okay, I just feel like if you're Aaron, you have so many more options. Like you mentioned, Aaron didn't even bring Porygon 2 that last game. And it was like, that was like a big, as I recall, it was like a pretty big factor in how he was able to win in the early games. And actually, when I first saw this lead, I was thinking, ooh, Sejun, come on, man. Like, what are you doing? But actually, when I played against Sejun, what I found super threatening was the combination of Aurora Veil plus Weakness Policy Metagross, where if you attacked Metagross and you wanted to attack Metagross because it kept attacking you, you would activate its Weakness Policy. And if you didn't attack it, it would do so much damage. And Aurora Veil reducing the damage, reducing the bulk, or reducing your ability to do damage on Metagross, I think is a really, really interesting combination. Actually, really scary to play against. So if Aaron is Gigalith in the back, he's got to be feeling really good. But I honestly think he might not have brought it. He probably wants Muck and either Porygon 2 or Garchomp, I think.
Well, what's really interesting here is that Aaron has his Arcanine on the field, threatening both Ninetales and Metagross, and Sejun doesn't exactly have a great switch into that Metagross outside of his own Arcanine.
Yes.
And even utilizing the Aurora Veil and the Weakness Policy here, if Aaron were to go for a Flare Blitz and a Muddy Water, that
goes for a Flare Blitz.
That Metagross isn't exactly, thankful for that combination. So the Flare Blitz will do plenty of damage, activate that Weakness Policy on that Metagross. If it is able to fire off an attack here, that could be huge. Maybe possibly pick up a knockout into that Arcanine. Maybe even the Tapu Fini. We'll see. The Arcanine losing a little bit of Life Orb recoil, but the Tapu Fini does go for the Muddy Water, and it connects on both Pokemon. So it will break the Ninetales Focus Sash, and it will definitely pick up the knockout. The Metagross.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely not. Sejun shaking his head. He knows that was a very, very, very bad turn.
Aaron knows exactly what he needed to do there, that was such a good turn.
Aaron's not smiling, but I assure you, Aaron is smiling on the inside. He's got to be happy with how that went. He lost almost nothing. In return, he gained a critical KO. He gave up he lost some health on his Arcanine, but really, that's really, really big. Sejun's Metagross is one of the main sources of damage output, and Tapu Lele comes in here, but Aaron has a safe switch, like such a safe switch into his Muck, and with Muck having essentially in this matchup like 150% HP. I don't know, Justin. I think it's looking pretty tough if you're Sejun. You cannot be feeling good right now.
Yeah, this is definitely like the rock wall without the people holding the ropes to help you up it for Sejun here. But I do feel like it's essential here is for him to pick up a knockout with the Shattered Psyche into the Pokemon that isn't switching into Muck and the Pokemon that's not protecting. We've seen many situations where Sejun has, fired the trigger there and it's gone into either Protect or into the immunity. So he really needs to make the most of it. He might want to just opt for a Psychic. I do think that Arcanine is within range. Tapu Fini is within range of a Freeze Dry and a Psychic KO. We did actually see Icy Wind from Sejun's Ninetales the other day, which means that I'm not inclined to believe that it does actually carry Freeze Dry. That might actually influence the way that Aaron plays this.
This should be Muck. So I think this is switching to Muck and protect Arcanine. So if Sejun is able to Moonblast and Blizzard here, I think that was the play he needed to make. So he goes for a Blizzard. I agree with that a lot. Let's see if he's able to pick up a Freeze and how much damage this does. There's a good chunk. Let's see. Any freezes? No freezes. Lele goes for Moonblast. So he does correctly predict that the Muck is coming in. Could that put Sejun back in this game? He's done a good chunk of damage, Justin. I mean, that's not bad damage at all. And let's see what Arcanine is here.
Well, the thing is that the Aurora Veil is up, so even if the Arcanine were to Flare Blitz into the Tapu Lele, it's going to survive thanks to that boosted defense. But the Ninetales is going to take that super effective damage, and now it is a 4-2 matchup. Aaron has all the momentum. The Arcanine taking the Flare Blitz recoil and the Life Orb recoil, so it actually is going down to that
3-2.
That's definitely an interesting way to pick up a knockout. That's just, the Ninetales saying, "Come with me, buddy."
Yeah,
that's the form
I'm
of
taking you with me.
The Ninetales Destiny Bond.
Yeah, the Ninetales Destiny Bond.
I like that. Basically, the damage, getting rid of the berry on the Muck was very crucial there, and getting Arcanine back in here is great. Now that Arcanine is off the field and is not in play anymore for Aaron, I feel like Sejun has a lot more comfort with his own Arcanine and can really start trying to just go for more aggressive knockouts. And it's really going to come down to if Aaron can, get the damage he needs with Muddy Waters. But I feel like that Aurora Veil is definitely going to influence that.
So here's the situation. I think that Sejun can pick up a KO by doubling into whatever he wants. And that Muck is -1 attack. And also has used its berry before, but I think by the way that Aaron is playing, Justin, I think there's a pretty good chance that he has Garchomp in the back. I think that's why he's so aggressively targeted down that Ninetales, meaning that all Aaron has to do is put a little bit of damage on this Tapu Lele and put in a Tectonic Rage range. Yes. And then this game might be close to over. So I think even if you're Aaron, even though your positioning might not be your positioning is okay with these two Pokemon, but if you have Garchomp in the back, you have to be feeling pretty good here. Sejun might be able to bring this back with some good plays, though. If he goes like protect Flare Blitz and then Tapu Fini protects itself. Do you think he called this?
This is definitely I think the entire match would hinge on that. But now that there's a double protect, we are seeing Aaron possibly just trying to burn off that the Shattered Psyche.
Yeah.
Him not wasting his Z move there is really important because, as you said, there is possibly a Garchomp in the back. And we knowing that it's an adamant Garchomp, it might be incredibly bulky and possibly able to tank a Moonblast. So I do think it's important for Aaron to get off a Shattered Psyche into the Tapu Fini here, get it off the field so he isn't taking Muddy Water damage. But I mean, his Tapu Lele is still very threatened. And as you said, if Aaron does have that Garchomp in the back, even putting everything just into Earthquake range could be really detrimental.
Yes. This is okay. When you saw that last turn, you might have just seen it and thought, that was kind of boring. Nothing happened. But I actually really like that play from Aaron because he either burns the Z move, but the other thing or he had the option of burning the Z move from Tapu Lele. But the other thing that was in play there was that Sejun has a very limited timer of Aurora Veil. And once Aurora Veil goes down, Garchomp can pick up the KO on Tapu Lele with Tectonic Rage if he has it. And I don't know, just the knowledge that you could all you need to do is stall out your turn to Aurora Veil, and
we're gonna see the Shattered Psyche.
He's doing the dance.
He's doing the dance for it.
He did a good job too. If I were a judge, I would definitely give that at least a 7.8 out of 10.
Only 7.8. I don't think you can do anything you can't do decimals.
Yeah, you can't do decimals. Sorry, no. But let's see if Shattered Psyche can do enough decimals to pick up the damage on Tapu Fini. And with a critical hit, it might pick up the KO, but without it, I don't think it's going to get it. That doesn't look like critical hit damage to me. It's unfortunate for Sejun. I think there's a chance.
Probably doubled into the Tapu Fini, though. No, actually, he went for the Flare Blitz right into the Muck.
Yeah.
Wasn't able to pick up the knockout, and things are looking pretty bleak here. Yeah. Tapu Fini going to get the Moonblast off into the Tapu Lele, as we talked about, just trying to set up the damage that it needs to for the possible Garchomp in the back. And the Poison Jab is not going to live with the... it actually is able to live because of the Intimidate and Aurora Veil. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Good assist. Basically, as you said, it's just about setting up the end game. He has one full health Pokemon in the back that can pretty much clean up this game. But I do like that Sejun has, tried to, handle what he has on the field and just get the damage that he can because, that's very important in this matchup.
Yes, I think Sejun could have gone Protect Flare Blitz that last turn, but hindsight, of course, is 2020. And he still would have been in a situation where he really needed to keep his Tapu Lele healthy. And this isn't necessarily over because there is a chance that Aaron has chosen to bring Porygon 2 as his fourth Pokemon. And in that scenario, we knew that Tapu Lele has Taunt, and maybe with Sejun still having 50% health recovery on his Arcanine, there is a chance that he could bring this back. But all Aaron needs is Garchomp in the back, and this game should be over. So Tapu Fini just goes for Protect here. Let's see if I don't expect to Protect from Muck. Arcanine goes for Extreme Speed into Muck. It should pick up the KO unless something crazy happens. Muck is down, so
good play on Sejun's end.
Yeah, good play on Sejun's end, not taking any recoil damage there. Moonblast coming out into Tapu Fini. Hail should end. Yeah, so Tapu Fini gets a turn of leftovers recovery. I don't know, Justin. I don't know. Let's see what Aaron's – it all comes down. Aaron's nodding his head. It all comes down to what is he going to bring back. Aurora Veil is gone.
If it's Garchomp, this is
If it's Garchomp, this is not looking good for Aaron.
If it's Garchomp, it is Garchomp.
No, Sejun nodding.
Man. That's that bad dream you just keep having. You don't want to keep having that Garchomp staring down an Arcanine and a very weakened Tapu Lele.
Yes.
I don't think that, as you said, this could be, it is up to Sejun to try and capitalize on a misplay from Aaron.
Yeah.
But I mean, just protecting the Tapu Fini and getting off an Earthquake. If it's faster than both of these Pokemon, Aurora Veil is gone. There's no Intimidates in the field. So Arcanine going to get an extreme speed off here into the Garchomp. Possibly hoping for just a super crit where it would just, take out the Garchomp. But that doesn't happen in this game. It's only 1.5. This isn't Gen 5 nor. So we're going to see the Tectonic Rage come out from the Garchomp here into the Arcanine, most likely. I don't think you would need to overkill the Tapu Lele. Tapu Lele has already taken enough damage. It's already damaged enough. Already been hurt. Tectonic Rage, a very powerful high base power move. Single strike. It is going into the Tapu Lele.
Yeah.
That's such overkill. That's rude.
No, it's because here's the thing. So you might think like, oh, that's really, he could have just poison jab, but that was actually well played by Aaron because even if Sejun protected, he still would guarantee the KO in that situation. I think that's why he chose to use Tectonic Rage there, is because Aaron played this game so incredibly well. He managed all of his resources perfectly. He was able to effectively deal with what was in front of him. He kept in mind what was in the back. I'm really, really impressed by Aaron. Sejun holding up Pachirisu. Oh, Sejun, we're so sorry, Pachirisu. But still an amazing showing by Sejun. Really, really cool team. Sometimes you bring unconventional stuff. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. But really great show by both of those players. I really, really, really am impressed. I feel like when Aaron is playing on his game, he's so scary. He's when Aaron knows what he's when Aaron is focused and has control of the game, you're not getting out. Aaron played
that's 100%
so
true.
well.
He also had a kind of a matchup advantage, and just
he did.
When talking about the muck and leading Tapu Fini Arcanine, getting Intimidate down on the most threatening parts of Sejun's team. What we saw really crucial in the second match was the second game specifically was the Flare Blitz and Muddy Water knockout into the Metagross, which was possibly the most threatening physical attacker on his team.
Yeah. Not to mention the fact that, so what's cool there is that Aaron's choice of Life Orb on his Arcanine actually guaranteed the KO with any other item other than Choice Band that would not have KO'd, I don't think, because thanks to Aurora Veil's increase in bulk. But yeah, thanks to that weakness policy activating, if Muddy Water had missed, or if Sejun's Metagross had been a little faster, Sejun's Metagross actually had sped my Tapu Fini, so it's obviously fast enough to outspeed some Tapu Fini. That would have definitely changed the matchup. I think getting even ones that headbutt off and picking up a KO early on would have been really good. And actually, even though it didn't work out for him, I really do agree with Sejun bringing the Ninetales game too. I think that was a really good awareness because Ninetales is one of his best answers to Garchomp. As we mentioned, he doesn't really have solid switch into the ground type attacks. So because of that, I do think Ninetales was a really, really good adjustment. It just unfortunately didn't work out for him. But guys, amazing showing by Sejun. Please press one for Sejun. Yeah, to show respect for Sejun for an amazing.
This is what happens in a format without Pachirisu. We were talking earlier about how Pachirisu would actually be good in this format.
He'd be so good.
He'd be great.
Nope.
Redirection is very important in VGC, and
yes,
we have a very big lack of it in this format. We're kind of limited to Smeargle and Clefairy.
Yeah,
and just the few Lightning Rod users that we have that all stink. Togedemaru, Marowak, they're both terrible Pokemon. I'm just kidding. They're actually decent. Togedemaru is actually pretty good. I'm sure you know all about the wrath of Togedemaru.
I don't want to talk about it.
All right, we'll keep that on the side. But
thank you.
Basically, just that matchup was very well played by Aaron. As you talked about, he's a very scary competitor when he is on top of his game, and I think he went into that with a matchup advantage. He utilized his muck perfectly. And, he kind of got the Tapu Lele in a situation where his best physical threat and one of his fastest, his Garchomp, came in right at the end, was able to get the Tectonic Rage off, and just, that's exactly what he needed to do.
Yeah. So, really, really well played game by both players.